Let's bring in Brian Spillane. He covers the food and beverage space at BofA Securities. Brian, we've obviously talked to you a lot in the past about chips and the prices of a lot of other things. So welcome. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here.
So let's just start with, we have a couple of categories here. And in full disclosure, our dear producer Chelsea went shopping in Manhattan. So grain of salt, audience, and prepare for some real sticker shock. But you all know that directionally what we're capturing is directionally still kind of what's going on with food inflation today. Let's start with the Cheerios and the cereal, because this was pretty shocking. So the price of the Cheerios box that we found in Manhattan, are you ready for this box of cereal? Was $9.99, okay? The store brand version was about half of the price. And I'm curious if you can kind of talk about what's been happening with those prices across the country more broadly.
Yeah, sure. So when we think about that price gap between the brands and store brands, the gap is still relatively wide versus what it's been historically. And you've seen market share gains for store brands, especially in categories like cereal, which are a lot more family-oriented. However, what we are beginning to see is actions that brands are taking to close those price gaps, and some of it is promotional events, some of it is tweaking package sizes, but there is a focus on trying to bring that value equation back together, but it's a slow process.
So my parents were at the grocery store the other day, and they said, what's going on with the Doritos? And this was at Acme. If you bought 4 bags, you got some crazy deal on them, but you had to buy 4. Are they all of a sudden trying to get rid of this stuff in bulk?
Well, some of that is partly trying to probably move some inventory, because one of the things we've really observed over the last year is consumers don't respond to that bulk purchase. Maybe around a holiday period, you're buying for 4th of July, or you're holding a Thanksgiving party. But generally, those types of promotions, which were very, very effective in the past, really aren't, because it's the cash outlay of whatever it would be, $15 or $20 for 4 bags of Doritos.
Yeah, we had talked about how the average price of a bag of chips in this country had gone to about $6.60. Yeah. That was one of the reasons you said be a little bit wary of stocks like Pepsi. At some point, they might have to start cutting prices. Are we seeing price cuts, broadly speaking, from the highs? And is that pressuring some of these consumer staples names?
Right. It's still, I would say price cuts is probably not a great, we haven't gotten to that point
yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. But where we are is sharpening promotions. So we're seeing maybe when in promotional periods, more depth. I think when we go into next year, you're going to see a lot more of attention of price promotions around holiday periods. Think about the Super Bowl, Easter, summer holidays, because there's a lot of volume that moves in that time frame, and that's where you can move, where these companies can move volume.
Before we move along, can you kind of distill this, what we've talked about on the package side so far, at least kind of the middle of the store, as we call that, to what are your takes on these stocks? Which ones do you like the most right now, and where are you kind of steering clear?
Right. So right now within the beverage stocks, if we're thinking about Coke versus Pepsi, we think Coke right now. Pepsi's still struggling a lot with trying to get the price dialed in correctly on the snacks.
What about the General Mills, those kinds of companies?
Yeah. So when we get into the packaged food companies right now, and Peter and I talked about this. Peter Galbo, who's my partner.
Right.
Right now, you have to be very selective, right? So he loves McCormick.
Okay, the spice maker.
The spice maker, and some of that
even with the price deflation there.
Well, I think part of that is, as you shop the perimeter, if you're able to buy chicken, let's say, it's a value add, right? You're adding something to the chicken to make it more, add a taste. Yeah, exactly. So that's sort of where he is right now. When we look at the center of the store stock specifically, still very, not very positive on most.
But see, that makes me as a shopper feel happy. I don't want you to be positive on those stocks, because it means they're passing along more price. So again, you're hearing Wall Street is getting more cautious on these names because we've kind of hit this point of resistance. So over here, eggs have gotten a lot of attention. Obviously, we mentioned that the price is up 40% in the past year, but the year prior to that, they had fallen in price. And of course, we had the big spike prior to that as well. What can this tell us anything? Price of eggs, price of dairy. These are the kinds of things like gasoline prices that a lot of consumers feel as inflationary because they're high frequency and they're such a big part of the budget.
Yeah, they're definitely kitchen table conversation and affect sentiment, basically, right? People know the price of milk. I think what you're seeing in egg prices and dairy prices specific also is really more a function of the commodity market, right? So it's supply-demand has driven it more than anything else. Eggs have had a wild ride.
Yes.
And that a lot of it has been due to avian flu and sort of extraneous events. But I think that when we're looking at like where egg prices are today, while they're up 38% year over year, they're actually pretty far off the highs.
Sure, absolutely.
And the relative value to a box of cereal, it starts to look
high.
Yeah, it's still high, but it starts to look a little bit better.
Protein. I saw Cheerios with protein on them the other day. I was like, don't try to tell me that.